Monkeypox has now been confirmed in 12 different countries, including America, but Belgium has become the first country to introduce a 21-day mandatory quarantine. The CCP's ridiculous zero-COVID policy is devastating the global supply chain, and now they're going to lock down another major city, Tianjin. President Biden breaks decades-old policy of strategic ambiguity by warning China that the United States will defend Taiwan with complete force if the CCP decides to take over Taiwan. Okay, my friends, let's take a closer look together.
A spike in monkeypox cases is raising concerns around the world. Viral infection that is endemic to Central and Western Africa has now spread across Europe, the United States, Australia and other nations.
It's now monkeypox that is troubling the European nations, along with the United States and Australia. And with that, the viral infection has raised an alarm all across the globe.
With multiple deadly viruses added to the red list in the last few years, another one called monkeypox, with symptoms like bumpy rash, fever, sore muscles, and a headache has come to the forefront. Monkeypox, which originated in Africa, is a virus related to smallpox with a mortality rate of about 1%. However, the experts are expressing rising concerns about this virus's sudden spread from Africa to several other countries. According to the World Health Organization, there are a total of 92 confirmed cases of monkeypox in 12 different countries, including the United Kingdom, Italy, Sweden, Portugal, Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, the United States, Australia, and Canada. Furthermore, Belgium has now become the first country in the world to introduce a mandatory 21-day monkeypox quarantine period for anyone who contracts this virus. According to Belgian health authorities, every individual who catches this virus is bound to self-isolate themselves for the required period. And those who have had a close contact with the monkeypox cases are not required to self-isolate themselves, but they must take sufficient precautions. Emmanuel Andre, who is the official in charge of COVID-19 in Belgium, said that the fourth case in the country was reported from a festival that was held in the city earlier this month. He added, "This patient is being treated in Wallonia and is linked to the Antwerp event in which 2 other people were infected." Now, switching toward the United Kingdom, Dr. Susan Hopkins, who is considered one of the top medical advisors to the UK Health Security Agency, has given a strong warning about this virus's capability to spread across communities. Officials of Belgium and the United Kingdom have also observed that monkeypox is spreading quickly amongst homosexual males. Belgium officials said that we are observing transmissions among men who have sex with men. And it is a development that we must study properly to better understand the dynamics. White House, on the other hand, issued a warning on Sunday that more cases of monkeypox virus are likely to arise in the country. According to White House COVID-19 coordinator Ashish Jha, "I would not be surprised if we see a few more monkeypox cases in the upcoming days. And I think the president's right. Anytime we have an infectious disease outbreak like this, we should all be paying attention." He further added that the administration is confident we are going to be able to get our arms around it. But we're going to track it very closely and use the tools we have to make sure that we continue to prevent further spread and take care of the people who get infected.
There are supply chain disruptions, shutdowns, travel restrictions. Your economy inevitably takes a hit, which is why the latest outbreak in China will worry Xi Jinping. It is in Shanghai. It's almost like a ghost town, a flashback to 2020. And this lockdown could also hurt the global economy. Like I said, Shanghai is an economic powerhouse, the second richest city in China. It is also well integrated into the foreign markets. More than 61,000 enterprises in Shanghai are backed by foreign firms. 61,000.
Businesses around the world bracing for shortages, with automotive and electronic suppliers already feeling the effects. Tesla's Gigafactory shut down. Apple's chip supplier Foxconn open at just 60% capacity. Around the country, 45 Chinese cities now under some type of lockdown. That's 40% of the world's second largest economy.
Some of the most feared predictions by the experts about Shanghai lockdowns taking a toll on its economy and the world have now finally become true. Tesla's Shanghai plant reported zero exports of its Chinese-made models, Apple suppliers in Shanghai have set the tech giant for an $8 billion loss this quarter, and other large companies massively hit by the zero-COVID policy are now planning to move their factories to other countries. However, despite noticing their economy tumbling in front of their eyes, the Chinese Communist Party has also locked down another major city, Tianjin. The CCP has threatened the residents that their future 3 generations would suffer if they left their homes without permission. Now, according to Nikkei Asia Analysis, one of the world's largest financial newspapers, around 90% of the Apple products sold worldwide are actually produced by contract manufacturers in China. As Apple has around 200 top suppliers to manufacture and assemble its unique products, around half of those suppliers have their facilities in and around Shanghai, where the zero-COVID policy has been going on for almost 2 months. For example, top 5 Taiwanese contract manufacturers like Foxconn, Pegatron, Compal Electronics, Quanta Computer, and Winstron are massively responsible for producing Apple's most profitable products, such as iPhones, iPads, and Macs. All of their facilities are located in Shanghai, which is being considered as the center for the recent COVID outbreak in China that have already taken many lives. And any form of disruption in their supply chain or assembly lines instantly creates massive inability to keep up with the demands of consumers worldwide. So if you're witnessing any delay in purchasing a MacBook or an iPad, then this could be the main reason why. To be more specific, MacBook manufacturer Quanta and the iPad manufacturer Compal Electronics have temporarily closed their factories in China, which has caused a 2-month delay in the delivery of MacBook Pros in Japan, the United States, and many other countries. Pegatron, on the other hand, which is also one of the largest suppliers of iPhones, has recently announced that it will temporarily suspend its assembly plants in Shanghai until a resumptive date is announced by the local government, thus adding more pressure on the iPhone supply chain. During a conference call, Apple's chief financial officer, Luca Mastri, calculated an enormous $8 billion revenue loss in the second quarter due to supply chain restrictions and a steep fall in their stocks. All these factors, coupled with a 2-month-long lockdown, have not only dropped the industrial output in Shanghai by 61.5%, but also destroyed the investors' confidence in the country. According to a recent report published by the Shanghai Municipal Bureau of Statistics, the total output value of the industrial companies in April was around $19.2 billion, which is a 61.5% decline from last year during the same month. The report also showed that only the oil and natural gas industry grew in the month of April, and the rest of the industry suffered a steep decline in their growth levels. Key industries like automobile manufacturing fell by 70.9%. The transportation equipment manufacturing industry fell by 88.9%. The newly begun commercial housing development fell by 47.1%, and the sales of commercial housing fell by 17%. Now, according to Taiwanese financial expert Henry Wu, the economic data shows that the problem on the ground is very serious, and the consequences of Shanghai's lockdown are way too devastating. He added, consumers' and investors' decisions are all based on confidence. The lack of transparency of the Chinese regime's policies affects their confidence. The CCP system itself produces economic crises. The government's power is unchecked, unsupervised, and there is no transparency and no stability. Everyone is scared by the extreme measures of the lockdowns, so they lost confidence in the system. As the major companies in China were hoping the situation could become normal in the coming days, the Chinese Communist Party has now locked down Tianjin City, a major port city in the north that is directly controlled by the central government. Surprisingly, after witnessing worldwide criticism for its actions against Shanghai residents in the recent lockdown, the CCP, instead of using the word lockdown, has now come up with a new word called static management policy, with the purpose of hiding their inhumane actions against the residents, which they usually fail to hide. If you look at the notice that was issued by the Tianjin authorities on May 21st, it states that all residents in Tianjin should remain static in their place of residence until the COVID-19 nucleic acid testing is conducted for all residents. Furthermore, people are also prohibited from random movement outside of their homes until the nucleic acid test results are revealed. The static management policy became more dangerous when the neighborhood committee in Dongli district of Tianjin City openly announced this threatening statement to the residents. For the spread of the epidemic caused by residents who go out without permission after finishing nucleic acid tests, the public security organs will hold them accountable and it will affect their future generations. Hope everyone thinks twice before acting. Although this official statement attracted widespread criticism from people on social media, the CCP felt proud in exercising this threatening regulation that was also captured in a video going viral since May 11. In this video, a young couple in Shanghai who tested negative were still being forced by several policemen at their home to forcefully transfer and quarantine them at the centralized isolated facility. And when the husband tried to defend himself by refusing, the policeman further threatened him by stating, "If you refuse to be transferred, you will be punished by the public security. After you are punished, it will also affect your future 3 generations."
The president said the United States was willing to use force to defend Taiwan against any Chinese aggression. China responded to the president's comments, saying the United States is, quote, playing with fire.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are?
That's the commitment we made.
In his recent visit to Tokyo for the launching of a new Asia-Pacific network called the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, or IPEF, President Biden gave an open warning to China by expressing that the United States will defend Taiwan with complete force if the Chinese Communist Party decides to take over Taiwan in the near future. The warning came into picture when President Biden, during the launching of IPEF, was meeting with the world leaders of 13 different countries, including India, Japan, but not Taiwan. When a reporter asked whether Biden would be using military force to defend Taiwan against Chinese aggression, he said yes, by stating that the United States agrees with the One China policy, which recognizes Beijing as the representative government of China, but witnessing Taiwan being taken by force is unacceptable. To be more specific, he said, "It's the commitment we made. Look, here's the situation. We agree with a One China policy. We have signed on to it, and all the intended agreements made from there. But the idea that Taiwan can be taken by force is just not appropriate. It will dislocate the entire region and be another action similar to what happened in Ukraine. And so it's a burden that is even stronger." Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who was present at the conference, further supported President Biden by strongly expressing that any forceful attempt by China to change the status quo of the Indo-Pacific or East Asia region will never be tolerated. Moreover, Japan's Prime Minister has also decided to increase its country's defense budget to tackle any form of danger from China in the near future. Now, it should be noted that all of these heavy statements made by President Biden directly goes above the United States' decades-old policy of strategic ambiguity, in which it neither confirmed nor denied whether it would support Taiwan in a case of war or not. Although Taiwan does not have a mutual defense agreement with the United States for sending troops during war, there still exists a 1979 Taiwan Relations Act, which clearly guarantees that the United States will provide sufficient military equipment to Taiwan to protect its borders. However, Biden's open warning to use military force against China compelled the White House officials at home to clarify to the media about maintaining the same policy of strategic ambiguity that was prevailing till now. A White House spokesperson said, "As President said, our policy has not changed. He reiterated our One China policy and our commitment to peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. He also reiterated our commitment under Taiwan's Relations Act to provide Taiwan with the military means to defend itself." Furthermore, many experts, like former U.S. Representative Will Hurd, criticized the administration by stating that instead of the White House trying to walk back on the comments made by Biden in Tokyo, they must clarify the U.S. stance towards defending Taiwan to the American population. President Biden concluded, "We will defend our allies, full stop." As IPEF will focus on increasing cooperation between member countries against rising aggression from China, Biden believes that China's attack on Taiwan will not occur in the future. I'd like to thank you all for spending time with me. Don't forget to watch this video right here, and I'll see you next time.